For this breakdown, we want to take a look at the 3-4 bear pinch buck zero. Now, this particular defense, we're going to go ahead and use the key blitz, is what we've been talking about in the film room this week, and showing you how to get pressure on a quarterback by getting yourself the advantage as far as numbers are concerned. So let's go ahead and take a look at the play. And with this play, you can see on your screen you have 6 pass rushers that are going to be coming after the quarterback, and then you have 5 defenders that are going to be in man coverage. So you have these guys right here. And as I mentioned before, this is one of those cover zero defenses. You have no deep help over the top, which can be a problem. If you run this, there's always a chance of a big play, and you want to mix it in with some type of coverage, such as cover 1 or cover 2, or just try to mix in something to try to throw your opponent off. Maybe even come out and, like I said, come out in a cover 1 defense, and then drops a couple defensive linemen back in pass coverage. But do some different things. Don't always run this defense expecting to get pressure on the quarterback, because your opponent's going to figure it out, and he's going to find some unbumpable routes that are just going to kill this defense. So you got to be careful when you run it, because if you don't, then you're going to be in a lot of deep trouble here. So let's just go ahead and look at the rest of it as far as what we're trying to do here. We are going to look to get pressure from this outside defender here, which happens to be a linebacker here on the outside. We're going to look to get pressure from him coming off the edge out there on the outside. Let's go ahead and take a look at it as far as the offensive play. And one of the things we want to do is we want to stick with the I-form probe, quick slants. And the reason for that is I just want to show how this works with the 6-man pass protection scheme. So you got these 6 players that are going to be blocking. You got the 5 offensive linemen along with the fullbacks. So one of the things with this particular play is it does a nice job at bringing that pressure, even against this type of pass blocking. So as you look at it, we're going to go ahead and call bump and run man coverage. And you can see when we do that, you go from kind of a cover 1 look to a cover 2 look with the 2 high safeties at the top when you do that. But the rest of it we want to show is we're going to take control of that defender right there, which is a linebacker. We're going to bring him inside, and then we want to line him up in the A gap into this area here. So his rush, he's not actually rushing, remember that. He's actually in man coverage on this defender right here. Well, excuse me, on the fullback who's right here. So keep that in mind that he's in man coverage on him. But what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and hold down that right trigger, as you see on your screen there. So it's going to go ahead and hold down the right trigger. If you're playing on the PS4, that's going to be the R2 button. Now, the idea of this is to bring some pressure off the edge. And what you're going to find out when you watch this particular video as we continue through it, the fullback's actually going to look to go ahead and block over here towards the left. And then we're going to have pressure coming from the outside with this linebacker coming off the edge. And he's going to actually apply the pressure coming off here on the outside on the quarterback as the quarterback drops back. So that's what you're going to see here as we run this. So let's just go ahead and run it here. And you'll see it right there as we run the play. And there's the pressure coming off the edge. Now, if we rewind this, one of the things you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to either drop this guy back. Here I try to dive at the quarterback myself, don't get it. Or I switch off of him, and then I end up, the guy actually jumps in. Something that you might consider doing here is, and that's been one of the things you got to watch for, sometimes the linebacker, once you switch off of him, sometimes he'll dive. So you may want to stay in control of him. In this case, I didn't. I actually switched off, as you can see, and I went for the tackle or sack. But if you want to, you can always just manually drop him back into this pass coverage here. Say you want to drop him back in the hook zone, and then you can watch for maybe some type of shallow crossing route or crossing route over the middle and try to guard against that. The only thing you really want to make sure is you want to wait until that defender that you're looking to get the pressure from gets past the line of scrimmage, then you can drop. And as you go back here one more time and rewind this, one other thing you can kind of notice here is how that right tackle slides in. See, had we not did this, one or two things would have happened here. Had we not did as far as what I'm doing with that linebacker, putting him in the gap, one or two things would have happened here. The fullback possibly would have came out here, so let's rewind this a little bit more. The fullback may have came out here and blocked, or he may have blocked to the inside into here. And then if he did that, now this is saying that I didn't have that linebacker up in the A gap like I'm holding him right now. And if, or what had happened is this guy right here would be this right tackle. He may end up blocking out here, and then we wouldn't be getting that pressure. But by doing what I'm doing, then it allows me to get that pressure from one of those linebackers. And in this case, it's the outside linebacker on the right as you're looking at your screen. So again, this is the type of pressure you can get in this year's game by doing something so simple that it's really easy to do. And you just want to read to see what the fullback's doing, or if it's a running back in the backfield and you're having him on him, you just kind of got to watch and see what they're doing, and then hopefully you'll be able to apply that pressure. So this one is called 3-4 bear pinch buck zero, looking to get pressure from one of the outside linebackers. In this case, it's the left outside linebackers getting the pressure from the right side of the offensive line.